Good afternoon and welcome to our last episode of the Hawk Zone for the 2015 Hawk football season. It's a bittersweet moment here with Brian Moore. He's not my coach anymore, but he's still Coach Brian Moore, I guess, sort of. But, Coach, this season's over. What's your feeling on that?
Well, the season was up and down, obviously, winning the first 5, losing the second 5. All in all, I think majority of the games fell the way they should have, except for the South Gibson game. I really think if we played straight up again, the full season, full 10 games, I think we'd finish 6-4. But that one's the only one that really stings because we should have won that one. And there's also them people that could say that we should have been 4-6 because O'Brien and JCM kind of gave it to us in a way. So obviously I'm going to look at the other side of that. I think we should end up 6-4 and got South Gibson with the other 4. Those weren't really we weren't in the game long enough to matter.
South Gibson game is one that us seniors will never forget, but going out at Liberty the other night with a tough loss was definitely hard. Playing a team like that to end your season kind of, I don't know, but I don't know, makes you look worse than you really are because you start out 5-0 and then finish 5-5, losing the last 5 on the back stretch.
It does, especially because you're going to get the symbolism out almost like we were dying the last month because we played Westview and then Milan and then Liberty to finish it out, and you kind of feel like, there at the end, it's like, what has happened? What has transpired over the past 10 weeks to make this team seem so insignificant in the fact that we were getting drilled in the first half there? But you got to remember that we made it all the way to, I think, 10, maybe 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it was still just 6-0. So we were definitely in the ball game for quite a bit longer than we were the Milan game, and we just kind of fell apart there in the middle of the second quarter.
After this short commercial break, we'll get to the highlights from the Liberty game Friday night.
My name is Justice Faust. I'm a freshman here at Jackson State, and my major is mass communications. The community college really focuses on academics, and that's what I needed. We have the Academic Assistance Center, we have the library, we have the Student Union building. All of the teachers are helpful. It seems like here at this community college, everybody really cares about getting you to where you need to go.
Jackson State. Stay close. Go far.
Welcome back to the Hawk Zone, the last episode again of the Hawk Zone. We're going to now get straight to the highlights from the first half of the Liberty game. First play, you're starting off. Coach McNeil thinks we need to go with something tricky, and it was 13 yards.
It does. Receiver just wasn't open enough to throw the ball, but obviously with their speed, you want to try to reverse or something early just to see if they're going to compensate for it. But the main thing here, we wanted to slow their pursuit down on the next few plays by by running a reverse.
Midfield already, and Kay takes a snap here, toss back to pass, and throws into coverage.
He does, and if you'll notice, his feet are moving the whole time. He's actually turning a little bit to his left and throwing the ball to his right. He wasn't very comfortable at all on that play. Obviously, we'd like to make the tackle a little sooner or at all, just based on their speed here. Is a good example of why we're trying to run that reverse the first play, but that was the longest play.
Same play here, just you talk about.
Watch Cade's comfort level. He's not very comfortable at all. I know it's early in the game and all, but he's drifting away and throwing the ball across his body away from him. Really hard ball to throw there.
And a minute and a half into the game, you lose your starting guard. Jalen Sharp goes down with concussion right there on that play.
He does. He got held up a little bit by one guy. Another guy T-boned him. And, of course, obviously he didn't play anymore the rest of the night. But we were able to move some people around and slide in a position to really didn't miss a whole lot there.
They do try to get the 2-point conversion. We stopped that right off the bat.
Yeah, they were really anticipating us going for 2 the first time like we've done nearly every game this year. So they were going to try to account for that, and it didn't work.
Back on offense here and running the ball with Tyreek and get stopped in the backfield. Those inside backers are something else.
They were. They stunted a whole lot, and defensive line was good enough to where they demanded a few double teams, so obviously we didn't have everybody to account for all those backers that were stunting.
Cade back in the shotgun here. We are on the other side of the 50. That's a plus from last year against the same team, but Cade rolling out to the right. Pass to CJ on 4th and short, and then we don't get it.
Yeah, and again, if you look at the end zone shot, or here we go. It looks like he should have had the possibility to hold on the ball a little bit longer, but he went ahead and dumped it to CJ.
This is about, what, 4th and 5 or so? And
I want to say it was 10 or 12.
oh, was it more than that?
Yeah, but that defensive line wasn't close enough to him. He could have held the ball a little longer and tried to find a receiver open downfield.
Here's this guy right here. We actually didn't do a bad job of containing him Friday. Just a couple times he had a few runs outside.
Didn't do bad at all. He had a better zip on the ball live than he did on tape. He didn't look like he was a very good passer, quality passer on tape, but he actually throws the ball quite well.
Back on offense after a stop. We made him punt a couple times, before getting the ball back.
Yeah, we did, and they had a heck of a punter back there. One of the deepest punters I've ever seen at high school level. I've never seen anybody at 16 yards. I punted in college, and I punted at 14 yards, so he had a lot of room back there and a pretty good snapper here. We had a Y shallow on, which gives the ball to Cordier, which is our best receiver right now, and he got a little bit of yardage.
Couldn't get this guy's hands down all night. He made an interception later on as well.
Yeah, he had a heck of a arm span there, and of course, quite a few of their defensive linemen do. They're just thick kids that we don't really have around our hallways, much less on our team. Got a halfback pass here. Really thought that Mark could go up there and possibly play a little bit of defense there, but didn't work out that way. He came back to stop and make the tackle, though.
Yeah, this play was designed for Mark, trying to get him a touchdown on the season or in his career.
This is basically a reenactment of the first play of the year against O'Brien, where Drew Burney threw it to CJ, and now that CJ was the guy throwing it, we had Mark step into CJ's spot and try to go up for the pass.
Liberty back on offense after the interception and another touchdown right up the middle.
Right up the middle, and again, guards gave us a bad read for the backside backer scraping over, so there's a seam there.
All the talent they had in the backfield was tough to stop. They had 3 or 4 different guys carrying the ball for them.
It was, and as long as they don't get narrow-minded with it, they ought to make quite a bit of noise throughout the playoffs. Defensive passing is their only question mark going into the playoffs, I think.
2-point conversion there puts them up 14-0, and a guy just outruns us to the sideline.
Yeah, stretch play. We weren't able to set the edge. Speed kills. Lack of speed kills faster. That's generally how we think of it.
So Liberty up 20-0, I believe, after that missed extra point. A pass here, trying to dump it off to the running back, and it's picked off by that same number 1 guy that's got some long arms, as you've already mentioned.
He did, and again, this isn't still like the first quarter or anything. We're getting closer to halftime, but we stuck around in there at 6-0 until about 10 minutes ago in the second quarter, and it's almost like we just imploded, kind of. Just nothing would go right, and everybody was thinking about the last mistake and wasn't worried about the next play. And then when you think about the last mistake you made, then you're obviously going to make a mistake on the next play because you're worried about the last play.
They go for 2 again and do get it, so I believe they are up 28-0 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll show the 2-point conversion again, just the same run right up the middle here. I believe that was 44. They had a couple different guys running the ball for them.
Yeah, and of course, most of them were using the same look, so it wasn't like anything we were getting surprised by. It's just their size and speed was more than we could handle.
Before the half, we do gain a little yardage and start moving the ball downfield a little bit. There's Cade with just taking what they gave him there and taking about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, and he's done a pretty good job this year of sliding, which I think is attributed to him actually being able to play the majority of the season. Last year he wouldn't slide too much, and that hurt the team as a whole for weeks on end.
And here's the arm you were just talking about, Corey Newell, with the fake and the fake jet and the pass over the top. This guy wide open.
Yeah, questionable lineman downfield call here. Not sure that he wasn't downfield on that play, but it is what it is.
1-yard touchdown run there. Puts them up 35-0, I believe, after the extra point. They're back on offense again right before the half, and this outside run was just killing us.
It was. That almost looks like a mirror image of that last time. We got a couple more people toward the edge that time, still couldn't set it very well. They did a crack block on us, and the corner didn't give a crack call. So obviously the corner's got to set the edge, and if the corner doesn't set the edge, there's nobody else to set the edge. So when the corner doesn't make the crack call or set the edge, it is pretty rough, pretty quick.
Next play here is a run by Corey Newell up the middle for a touchdown.
He'd be nice if he's wearing black. Our black. They wear black and on too. Man, he's got some wheels.
The cut right there, this great play there. I mean, you can defend it, but it's tough. You got to have somebody else with that kind of capability on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And this pass, if it's out in front a little bit more, it might be 6 points to Ricky Beard from Cordier on the double pass.
Yeah. Again, trying to create some excitement here, maybe get a little momentum going into halftime. And ball's just a little underthrown, which is okay. We got the positive yardage.
So we're across midfield again, down 42-0. Cade rolls out to the left, dumps it off to, I can't see who that is out there. I think it's Ricky Beard. Gets the first down. Yeah, this is past to Ricky Beard for I don't know how many yards. Can't tell what route it is either, but moving the ball down the field, getting up to about the 25-yard line here before half.
A smash route. I think he's running a corner. He was running a short corner route there. That play was called
Guess who?
Miami.
The ball over.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh man, he's got some reach, man. Gosh.
So let's throw it deep and get away from his arms, and Cade makes another mistake there. Throws into coverage.
Yeah, 2 years ago, we're playing McNary at home, and we couldn't. Hayden Phillips picked off a interception in the end zone. They blew it dead. I was under the impression that they were going to blow that dead when he caught it, just to save some people from getting concussions like Sharp did earlier.
I was a little upset here because I got this block in the back, right in the center of the screen, right there. No doubt about it. I get called for that at McNary, and I don't get the call at Liberty.
That's a little closer. That's a little closer than yours.
We can run that back and see, but I don't believe it was.
They can't zoom in over there though.
Well, you're down 42-0. These seniors got 24 minutes. It's like you said. Oh, here's the play. They're gonna show it again. Here I am, middle of the screen. Well, you got to fast
a little further,
forward.
about 3 seconds. 1,000 to 1,000.
Keep going. Right
to there.
Keep going.
Oh.
There.
Oh.
That's a block in the back. There's no doubt about it.
Block in the back.
Thank you very much.
It was.
Thank you.
It wasn't as obvious as the
Thank
one
you.
you threw at McNary.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why I was.
The one I threw at McNary was the shoulder. It was more shoulder than it was back. But like I was saying at halftime, 42-0. The clock after 35 points will continue to run mercy rules. So you're telling these guys 24 minutes, no dead clock. Clock will be running the whole time. You know, what was the locker room like? That's what I want to know. What was the balcony like? Excuse me.
Yeah, well, and
I was there. But
you'd be the perfect person to get first-hand knowledge of that. From my point of view, and of course I'm always thinking a little bit further ahead than the kids. I know he's going to put what I refer to Roys in. You got your players and you got the rest of y'all, which I refer to as Roys during practice. I knew he was going to put his Roys in and let them play. Of course, I didn't tell our guys that, so I'm just looking for effort. And as far as we're concerned as coaches, we're looking toward next year now because we know this game is in hand. There's not much chance that we're actually going to be able to come back. I mean, I'm not going to tell them that we're not coming back. I'm just going to tell them that it's really unlikely, just like I'm telling everybody now. So they have to show me some effort or they're going to get pulled. And we did have a few that ended up not playing much in the second half, but and we were able to get a couple other guys that don't play much, get some playing time in there. But again, you just want them to have some effort and go out fighting. You don't ever want anybody to turn it down because if they turn it down right at the end when everything's stacked against them, 10 years from now, if they lose their job or their wife leaves them, kids leave them, they're going to quit then if they quit on us in that second half. So that's what it really comes down to. Not really establishing character, but you just want them to show some character. Because football doesn't establish character, it just reveals it.
Let's get straight to that second half. $42-0 game. Of course, they got their Roys in, like you said. I like that word. I'm gonna start using it. But their Roys take it for about 25 yards.
They do, and of course, these are them younger, scrappy kids that don't get to play a lot, so they're excited. It's a Friday night. It's senior night, and they're actually getting to play, so they're gonna come out hard.
Run the ball well here. Cody Mayo over the head.
Yeah.
Snap over the head. Different quarterback, of course, shorter, so different.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it's not that they're just wanting to get them some playing time. They're all actually wanting to look forward to the playoffs. They're not wanting to get anybody hurt because It'd be real dumb if Corey got hurt with them being up 42-0 and him not be able to play in the playoffs and they lose first round. That'd be really unfortunate for them. So it's a smart move by Coach Turner.
Just another quarterback keeper right up the middle for 20 or 30 more. Maybe a little bit more than that, down to about, 5-yard line there. And he dives in the end zone for a touchdown of 49-0 at this point. This is the same zone read type deal there. A guy that probably would get some playing time over here for sure, but
Yeah, that's true. And of course, you notice how the clock was already winding down quite a bit there, so we kind of understood what they were going to try to do. So we did make some defensive adjustments there just to stop that, since we pretty much knew there wasn't a threat for them to throw the ball.
some offensive adjustments too.
Yeah,
4th and
I'll
2.
let you go with that one.
4th and 2, I get the ball up the middle there, but I do move back to center. And Ricky's now at quarterback. You're trying to get Cade the ball. Stumped off there to Cordier, I believe, but Cade was moved to receiver to try to get him a catch on the season. I believe this is the play here. 4th quarter, as you can see, 5 minutes, 55 seconds. We'll run the same play again from the end zone shot. Cordier, a guy that's going to be playing a couple weeks in the All-Star game, as well as Cade. Ricky rolling out to the left and pass to Cade there. Nice hands by your quarterback.
It was. And like I said on last week's show, there was a couple things we hadn't told the kids about that we're going to try to do if we could, just keep some excitement up. And that's one of them, as well as getting you the ball. Did you know last week that this time you were getting the ball?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I asked you about it, and you didn't respond like you knew it was happening. I was hoping he didn't tell you yet.
I had a thought that maybe I might pick up a fumble and take it to the house, but I didn't believe that.
Yeah.
Here's the fumble right here, and of course I'm going nuts because I think we're getting the ball back and I might have a chance of scoring. But good job by, I believe, Ty Bain was in there on this. Stripping the ball out of his hand. You got a minute 30.
Yeah. And of course, right here we're going to we switched to a 4-3 and just sent the outside backers every time because we knew they weren't going to throw the ball, which is almost the same adjustment we made at JCM to win that game.
Well, there it is.
Here
right
we
out
go.
the middle.
Yay!
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I bet it was fun. I was the lineman. I was actually the guard, and I never got
The
to
stance
touch the
is
ball.
killing me. Look at the legs, man. They kicked all the way out.
Yeah. Well, the pocket was the part
The
that
kid
killed
didn't
me.
have a chance.
I
The kid
felt
didn't
like
have a chance. He didn't. He didn't have a chance to keep me from going across the goal line because Coach McNeil gave me the chance and told me if I didn't get in there that we were going to take me out, and I didn't want that to happen. So that was a good experience. 49-6 game, of course, not happy about that. Last high school football game, but getting the score touchdown was definitely something that I won't forget. So after this short commercial break, we'll hit up the final stats of the season for your Southside Hawks. Welcome back to the Hawk Zone. Coach, as we've already mentioned, a 5-game winning streak at the beginning of the season, and then you drop 5 more to knock it down to 5-5. But the season, a lot of people forgot about how well offensively we did this year compared to last year.
We did, and I think the thing that everybody overshadows there is they see them 5 losses. They don't realize how much we were actually fighting in a lot of those 5 games. 3 out of the 5 for sure. I don't really know if you count them last 2, but the other 3 we were fighting pretty good and had a chance to. If we had some momentum shifts there, we'd have been right there at the line to go for the win in both those. But the offense has done a heck of a job this year, and I'm sure you're going to elaborate on that with some
Yeah, we'll get straight to the offensive stats if we can get them on the screen up there. Final offensive stats for 2015. This guy, you talked about him at the beginning of the season, just how far he's came. Tyreek Robinson with 135 rushes, 812 yards, which was the goal to get him past 800, 9 touchdowns, and averaging 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, Tariq's done a heck of a job. Again, he just had a lot better success than Jay did on offense. And Jay did a lot better on defense than Tariq did. And they put up some points quite a bit. And, man, I tell you what, I know that first episode I told y'all about me not caring too much for him. I love that kid to death. And hope he has a decent shot to play in college somewhere.
As you said, Jay with 47 rushes, 182 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jay did a good job. He primarily played at the fullback position until Hunter came along. And, of course, he's hard every time. He blocked a lot better than we've had in the past as a fullback. So that was great to see.
Cannon Cade broke 2,000 this week after coming off a concussion the week before. He's 157 completions for 17 touchdowns, 56 completion rate, which is pretty good if you ask me, and 2,035 passing yards.
Heck yeah, I mean, that's great. Obviously, he's had the school record for about a month now, or maybe a little over a month. And, of course, he turned in great numbers each and every week, except for the week when obviously he couldn't play. And that's just like outstanding numbers. You'd think he'd still be at the top of the list, but Scott Till apparently throws it around more than we do. So he ended up coming in second. But like you said earlier, he'll be playing in that All-Star game in a few weeks.
This next guy, played some quarterback, played some receiver, played some safety. A guy that's going to be a big leader on this team next year, Ricky Beard, 277 passing yards, 214 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and 65 yards rushing.
He lined up at outside linebacker. He held on some PATs. Lined up at punter once when we ran a fake, if that just wasn't so obvious. But, I mean, great one to look forward to in the future. I don't know if anybody noticed, but Friday night he was a captain. Just kind of sending the seniors out and looking forward to the future there. A little symbolism, trying to anyway. But we're expecting big things out of him next year.
Another guy, Cordier Kenny, that's came a long way from the year before. I think it might have been that 3X jersey he had last year that slowed him down. But 50 receptions this year for 809 receiving yards, put him over 800 for the year too. 7 touchdowns and 27 rushing yards. A guy that's had a great year on the offense side of the ball.
He has done a great job. He was double teamed quite a bit the second half of the year. If Drew Burney hadn't got hurt, it's kind of interesting to see what each one of them numbers they would put up, because when you have to double team 2 guys, you're going to be able to run the ball a whole lot. So I doubt they'd double team both of them. But he did a heck of a job all year. I thought Friday night he tweaked his hamstring again, and so he didn't get to play much in the second half. But he's done a great job. We're glad he decided to come out and play, not just stick to basketball.
C.J. Hunt, 5'9" white receiver with 50 receptions. Come on, man. I mean, you can't get much better than that. I mean, you look at this guy probably, and you're thinking, he ain't going to be worth the crap. But he's one of the best receivers we got.
Because he's white?
Yes, because he's white.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's why.
I can relate.
That's not why, but I mean, you look at him, you look at Cordier and you're thinking he's an athlete, and then you look at CJ and you're thinking, I don't know, he's 5'9", I don't know about him, but he had a lot of heart.
Man, he's tough as nails. I mean, he isn't scared to go across the middle. And again, not many people in high school attack the middle of the field, so I figured that's the best place to attack it, and we've done it all year long. And CJ's done a great job each and every week, and not scared to put his body up for risk to make a play.
Between those 2 guys at the bottom, 100 receptions and all the yardage and 10 touchdowns, that's just a good job by both of them. On the defense, tackling, top 5 tacklers for 2015. Jay Thorpe, of course, with 56 solo, 42 assists, 10 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, and 110 total tackles.
Yeah, and 110 total tackles, and he's not good enough to play in the Jackson All-Star game. Somebody has got some issues in the media. I don't care what they say about only wanting to have 4 kids from one school playing it, but they screwed that up bad. Anybody over 100 tackles ought to be able to play. I want to say he's either 2nd or 3rd on the roster for that game in tackles, and he's not even on the roster. So whoever dropped that.
Top 5 in West Tennessee.
Yeah, so I'm talking on the roster that actually is playing in the game. He's beaten everybody except for 2 of them, I think, which is mathematically that's not supposed to work. I'm a math guy, so I hate saying that. So I'm gonna move on to number 4. Tariq did a heck of a job. Again, a lot of times he was only playing on offense, so his numbers aren't as great as Jay's, but you see the same thing when you look at the offensive stats. But he's done a heck of a job there each and every week, trying to balance them and keep them both fresh and play each and every Friday night, because we actually need both of them to play both ways 100% of the time. It's hard to do that and actually have success in the second half, and it showed when we had to do that against Westview and Milan and Liberty.
Did either of those two guys, Jay or Tyreek, remind you of the Jay last year, number 17?
Oh yeah, I mean they're all over the place for sure, just like Jalen was. I mean they did a great job. Wish we had possibly played, all three of them at the same time on the field quite a bit. That'd been nice to see.
This guy right here worked, probably the hardest working sophomore, or one of the hardest working guys on the team from my opinion, what I've seen this all season and this season period, always at practice working hard. Timothy McGowan with 29 solo tackles, 34 assists, 11 tackles for a loss, which is the standout there, a sack, and 75 total tackles.
Yeah, and he's done a heck of a job. Being outside backer, he's on one side of the field. He's not like an inside linebacker like the top two are. They have an equal distance to go to both sides of the field. He's on one side, kind of like you are at the defensive end spot. So it says something for him to be that high and almost second on the team in tackles. And also, you got to remember, he only played 8.5 games. So that's something in itself. And then obviously you, since you don't want to talk about yourself, Jordan Taylor there making 31 solo, 32 assists, and 72 total. You did a heck of a job. Hopefully, maybe not on that side of the ball. Maybe you'll get some snaps somewhere else on Saturdays next year. And of course, Bass down there, great job him coming back to Southside. He was at Crockett for a year. So hopefully we'll get some more guys in here next year that can add to the team just like he did. I mean, he came out of nowhere and then led West Tennessee in takeaways with 10, which is great.
Yeah, 7 interceptions. That's a pretty dang good season by any corner around here for sure. And 10 takeaways, like you said, 3 fumbles recovered. The team stats will be our last stats of the year. 1,115 rushing yards, 2,394 passing yards, and 3,509 total offensive yards. A big change from last season.
Was a big change. Obviously, that one at the bottom's the main one. Cade got hurt last year. We didn't score a touchdown for over a month. And just those numbers are great. You'd love to have those each and every year. Obviously, offense is centered around the quarterback and what he can do. So hopefully we'll be able to develop either Ricky or McLean into doing almost similar numbers. We'll have to go. The methodology will change a little bit, but hopefully we can come up with the same or close to the same numbers.
Like you said, the stats are a lot different. One of my favorites there is the points. 99 points last year in 10 games. That's just 9.9 points a game. 9.9 points a game, yeah. 24.5 points this year.
Yep. And, of course, that's about 3 times the points. But the stat you got to look at, too, is 5 times the wins as last year. So, great way to finish out.
And the guys that we want to talk about here at the end, the West Tennessee All-Stars, which might upset you a little bit, but Thorpe's name is up there at the alternate. Cade Willingham for quarterback, of course, Cordier receiver. Tyreek, I'm not sure if he's playing linebacker or running back, and Cordell, of course, in the secondary with Jay and CJ being the alternates. That All-Star game will be December 11th. You have anything to say about these guys?
No, I don't have anything to say about them, but there is one name up there that's not up there. We actually submitted 7 names, and you didn't make it. I told them if they needed a good quality leader and possibly a long snapper to take you, but I didn't really have any big stats to send in for you, and they had a lot of big linemen, so I don't know where they're going to get a long snapper from.
I'm actually pretty happy because you don't want to line up across Emmett Good when you weigh 185 pounds. But if he's playing in that one, I'm not sure. But
he's not, and he's defensive end. He wouldn't line up across from you.
Still, that pretty much wraps up the season. 5-5 season, a lot better from last year. Going out on a positive note here, going into the off season. What are you looking forward to most from these guys returning this off season?
Just wanting to develop them a little bit skill-wise, speed and size in January. I'm going to give them a decent amount of time off. Really learned in the past few years that keep their legs and don't get them burnt out on the sport. A lot of kids just get burnt out on that weight room come the middle of February, beginning of March. So really want to give them a decent amount of time off. So I'm not really planning to do anything before Thanksgiving, and hopefully we can develop some speed, a little bit more size, and then get after it in the middle of April, toward the end of April with spring practice.
Well, it was a good year, and good luck to you and the Hawks as you go into the off season and on to next season.
All right.